everybody, Stumpy Grump here. Welcome back to the Speed Shop. Today is now Monday, the 11th of December, and I got some of the parts in primer, and I've got some of them painted. I did all the black parts in Styrene black primer. Sprayed straight into the airbrush, didn't thin it or nothing like that. All the black parts. For the floor pan, I used some Folk Art Pure Black. Now, all this craft paint here dries to a matte finish, a flat finish, so it's flat black. I did do a couple of coats of Anita's Glossy Black. This stuff right here for the fuel tank. And I sprayed Anita's Glossy Black, and what I did is I mixed in a little bit of this stuff here to make a semi-gloss for the suspension pieces and the frame, stuff like that, just to give it a little bit of a different variance in shade of black, you know, glossy, semi-gloss, flat black, just to pick out the little differences in it. So that's what I did with that, and I did the rest of the parts, some extra, you know, all the other parts in the black. Then I used Ammo by MIG aluminum here to do the intake and the heads, and I used some Createx matte clear that I brushed on to give it, to dull it down a little bit. For the exhaust, I used Green Stuff World Chrome. This stuff, you can get a different look for it. It's not exactly chrome. You know, you can make it chrome. It's just how heavy you spray it and how many coats you put on it. The way I did it, I didn't want it chrome. So I just sprayed it until I was happy with what I had. Work with it a lot. You learn the techniques with it. Anita's galvanized tin for the exhaust manifolds. Stuff like that. Got that painted last Thursday and Friday. The seats I did. All the other stuff I primed with. I started with white. Added a few drops of the gray to give it a lighter gray, because I don't like spraying white primer over white plastic. Kind of have a hard time gauging and distinguishing, you know, how it looks and stuff. The engine block was done in the gray. That's how dark the gray is. And I don't want it that dark, spraying a light color over it. So that's what I did. And then I took the seats here and I started with some Apple Barrel White. And I added in some Delta Ceramcoat Sand Dune to give me an off-white color for the seats. And I got them taped off, and I'm going to paint them close to the same color as the body color. I'm going to probably have a little bit either lighter or darker on it. So I got it all taped off just to do, you know, pattern on the front seat and the back seat. So that's where I'm at right now with that. The body I did paint, I started with light lavender, and I sprayed a coat or two, and it seemed a little pinkish, a little too pinkish for me. So I added in some Anita's Dark Plum. And what that did was, you know, I added it in until I thought I got the color I was after. And I'm going to show you right here what it looked like. And it was just a little bit too much. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to spray over that. So what I ended up doing was I started with the white. And I added some DecoArt Americana Dioxazine Purple. I actually mixed a little bit of pearl white metallic white, actually. Call it pearl white. with the regular white, half and half, and then I dropped in some drops of this DecoArt purple here. And I must not have got as much in there. It looked a little bit darker in the cup when I was mixing it, but once I sprayed it on the car, maybe because I sprayed it over that dark pink, it came out pinker than I expected and I wanted. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix up another batch of this stuff today and see what happens. Spray it over it and see what happens. If I don't like it, I'm going to go ahead and strip it because I have another color in mind. So we'll see how this goes. So this is where I'm at right now. So this is what it looked like with the white and the dioxazine purple. So I'll show you that real quick. So this is what it came out. It looks more pinkish in person. On the camera, it looks close to the lavender I'm looking for, actually, honestly. But in person, believe me, it's a little more pink, and I'm really not keen on it. So I'm going to get a little bit more purple on there and see if I can get that look. So hopefully in just a second here, you'll see how that turned out. Okay, so I'm back after spraying 3 more coats of the new color that I mixed up, and this is what we have. It does still look a little more purple on the camera than it does in person. Still has a little bit of a pink tinge to it in person, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think I got where I want it. To get there, hang with me here, guys. I used Apple Barrel White and Anita's Metallic White, mixed 50-50 to form the white base. Then I proceeded to add some DecoArt Dioxazine Purple. This was to, give it that lavender look. It still looked a little pink after a coat. So I played around, and just for kicks and grins here, I added just a few drops of this Apple Barrel Blueberry Frost, which really kind of added some purple to it. And with that little bit of metallic white I added to it, it almost has kind of a bit of a flip-flop look to it. Just slightly. I don't know if the clear will accentuate that or what that'll do, but that's what I did. So a lot of times when I say I got a custom mix color, that's pretty much what I do. I just mix it up until I think it looks good. How I did it and what the ratios are, couldn't tell you. So it's a true custom color, because you know what? It'll never be duplicated, because just different amounts of drops, Just love doing that. And for the interior, for the seats, I went just a couple shades darker for the seats. So when I peel the tape off and expose the white, that might show a little bit darker. Okay, so here's the seats unmasked. You got a little spot I got to touch on. And that usually there's just a few spots here and there to touch up, but pretty good. Maybe a little bit on the back of the seat there. Normally I don't have an issue with paint pulling off, but I think that just scraped it. I didn't put any clear on it when I did it. In the carpet area I'm not worried about. I'm going to be adding some of this, some embossing powder. I don't know if I'm going to keep it black. I don't know if I want to go a purple, a plum, a different color, a gray for the carpet. I'll figure it out. But again, a little bit of touch-ups needed for, where the tape didn't go down, but no big deal. It's going to get covered up anyways. In the door panels, same thing with the door panels, just a couple little pieces of touch-up here that are going to be needed. And of course, this is going to be the carpet color down here. The other door panel, not quite as good. A little bit right there on the handle, but that's going to be painted. So, chrome window crank. So there she is. There she sits right now. As far as the body goes, let's see, today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 13th. Maybe I'll throw some clear on it. We'll see. That's how she sits right now. Thanks for watching Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop. Stay tuned for more updates and content.